The point is not the automation. Pulling metadata from the DOI or Git code. So the idea is to have an assistant at submission that does routine work automatically, pulling metadata from the ORCID DOI process and paywall in the publisher policy. The point is not automation. It is the system knows when to stop and hand case to a human and to the right human. The researcher owns what did you upload and who are you. The library owns is this legally publishable. It never interprets the rights itself, so that the agent doesn't interpret the right itself. Only detects that a case needs judgment and routes it. So it just detects that there is a human judgment required. So that's the part. So the detection part is the part that I'm more interested. This is the same idea as the Biffl model. We saw the failure there was not missing data, so there would be data, but there was no escalation. It was a structure that let signals be ignored. So it needs to make something of those signals that it gets, so it knows. So it wants to reduce false positives and flooding the humans with a easily fixable those submissions that don't break any requirements. So we don't want to have the agent to have too many false positives. Most preferably zero, so it doesn't have false positives and flooding the user. We also don't want it to miss submissions that are incorrect and have the false negatives, of course. So the agent is not trying to be smart. It's just I would model the workflow in Cocondo and the escalation fall exactly where the data space has a gap or a conflict.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Professor.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
It's a dynamic days, let's say.
Oh, you have a lot of classes to attend.
Yeah, everything has to end until tomorrow afternoon and everything has to finish, as you know.
Okay.
So,
So,
let me close the door. I'll be back in a minute.
okay.
So, where do you sit?
I am in the office. I'm in the office, but I'm sitting where Valentin always sits when he talks to you.
But where is this?
Sorry?
Which building is it?
This is the main building where the new building we went to now. So right behind the library.
Behind the library. The TUV library,
The
right?
the TUV library, yeah.
And there is next to this is the Freihaus? No.
Yes, next to it is Freihaus.
And you're sitting in Freihaus or you're sitting in what is it, Breitelstraße?
Yeah, genau. That's where.
Breitelstraße.
Yeah.
Okay, good, yeah. Because your office doesn't look like Freihaus.
Yeah, because I closed. I don't know.
No,
But
in Freihaus you have very few windows,
mhm.
and the walls are colored in red, yellow, or green.
Yeah.
So you don't want to have an office there. Okay, good. It's good to see you in person. So we have half an hour, right? So
Yeah.
the question would be, what would be a good result of our meeting today for you?
Basically so that you can assist me in structuring some topic. So I was struggling to find something interesting. Yeah, like I was thinking at the beginning, like I told you in the email also, that I'm interested in agents that can do automated
Yes.
coding and so on. But maybe this is not the direction you are thinking because you mentioned workflows. So then I shifted a little bit and started to think about what kind of workflows
Yeah.
can I work on. So yeah, I really struggled, and even
Oh,
only
really?
yesterday, it's always only yesterday that something came up. So I was thinking maybe it's better to focus here where I'm working on and
Yeah.
the repository. So one issue that I always hear about is that there is a inconsistency in accuracy when submissions are filled by a researcher when they are submitting a publication,
Mm.
and there is no way of quickly informing the user, for example. So there is a delay as a result
Yeah.
of back and forth between the submitter and the librarian. So maybe
I
it's
know. I know. This is what Valentin was working on.
so okay. So I didn't even think of him at this point, but
Yeah.
let me just spell it out for you what I'm thinking. So maybe
Yeah.
what I'm thinking is we have an agent that
Mm.
sits there and picks up the metadata for the submitter using
Mm.
the DOI, ORCID, and Crossref, and so on, and
Mm.
checks for inconsistencies
Mm.
and automatically flags if there is some inconsistency. So
Yeah.
the main thing that I'm trying to do here is not to create an agent that fills a form for him. That's not the point. But
Mm-hmm.
it's particularly after what I've done for Gopal, the point where it detects there's something wrong and escalates it to a human and to the right human. So
Ah.
uh, for the most part, 90% probably, there should not be any flagging. And when there is something, that we don't want too many false positives. So we don't want to flood the human, but we also, of
Mm.
course, don't want the false negatives and miss inconsistencies in the submission. So
Yeah.
it goes back to the submitter where it says, the submitter has the ownership of the document, what it's submitting, and who he is. And
Mm.
the library has the task of making a judgment call on whether this thing can be is it submittable at all. Yeah. So
Mm.
it can already tell the user like, hey, it seems like there's something wrong with you what you're submitting.
Mm.
What it needs to do this, what it's doing, maybe that's not very clear to me. It's just some blurry idea at the moment.
Mm.
And
Mm.
for the librarian, it's possible that it would say, look, the license is not correct. It doesn't seem right here. What license he's using?
Mm.
Maybe you should check this out. And so this way, most of the checking can be taken care of by the agent. And it's not a smart agent, but we do have enough guardrails, yeah, so that we can trust the agent to do this work for the university in this capacity. So yeah, I will be using Procando, of course, and seeing the data space where the gaps are in the data space,
Mm. Mm.
and trying to, of course, then do a design that tackles them and putting the guardrails and the barriers based on those
Okay.
gaps that I
Great.
see.
So um, that I think it's a good thing that you work on something that you understand well, which
Mm,
is good. Yeah. And I think with repository workflows, you know it, or you have somebody around you to tell you a bit about it. At least Valentin should be quite familiar with this right
yes.
now. Um, can you just give me a quick understanding? So you and Valentin, you work in the same team, or how is the organization around you?
We're in the same team, but Valentin is doing the back end work, and he's for the most part not visible because he's doing only part-time work, and he usually comes on a Thursday like today. But I'm doing
Uh-huh.
the front end stuff. I've been hired since last year, but due to different things, I wasn't that much part of the team. Like I
Mhm.
had a cycling accident and so on.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, and eventually, well, my knowledge is not as deep as it should be, but
okay.
I am the front end person, mostly working on bug fixes. So this is as you know, we're working with an upstream DSpace. So they have what we would call not very clean code and
Mm.
logical inconsistencies and issues that they bring in every time they we pull something from the upstream and we introduce bugs. And my
I
job
think
so
it
far.
could be actually interesting what you just bring in. Okay, you can take notes, right?
Yes, yes, I'm taking notes.
Okay, good. Okay, good. So because I'll explain to you a few things now, and it's important that you take something away from this.
Mhm.
I think it's interesting that you mentioned that you work with let's say processes described maybe also as code where there are inconsistencies and issues and bugs and so on, right?
Yeah.
I sent you this book from Nancy Levelson's Engineering a Safer World, where you worked on a Bhopal accident, right?
Mhm.
Same book you have the approach from Nancy Levelson at MIT on how to understand why people do things, right, that then in the end lead to accidents
You
or
mean
at
stuff?
least issues, right? Yeah. And I think you can translate this in your context to, let's say, some business hazards, yeah. So where a lot of time, energy is lost or something, or you don't achieve a desired outcome, you get the undesired outcomes, people are unhappy and so on, right?
Yeah.
So I think you can relate this to what she writes to also to your situation, I think, yes. And
Mhm.
an interesting theory of Nancy Littleson is that she assumes that every local system is in principle working. So it's not that the system is not working or broken or something,
The
but
model.
that the coordination, the collaboration doesn't work.
Mhm.
Yeah. And she asked, why is this so? And one of her main themes is that people have different models of the process. And so you have to note two things here. Yeah. The one thing is the process model and environment. So what are important conditions that you need to know
Mhm.
to understand what's the state and what to do next? So you have on the one side design time models,
Mhm.
which may miss important information or have important wrong information in them. And the second is the runtime state of the model. Yeah,
Mhm.
let's suppose let's take something very simple. I've now worked with somebody in production, and they have been producing gears for a motor, for example. And there you have a few steps to do. And one of the steps is to press the metal part into something else with the correct force.
Mhm.
And if you have too much force, then you ruin the part. And if you have too little force, then it's loose. So the product quality is not good. And you cannot see it afterwards. But if you use the gear with too much or too little force, then it will either fall apart or it will break at some point, much too early.
Yeah.
So your customers will be unhappy. I think you could translate this probably to something in repository environment.
Are
Yeah.
you currently talking about the bugs that I talked about? Because the bugs introduced as a result of upstream merging, or are
It's
you
a
talking
process.
about
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
workflow part?
I mean, a bug from a bug in my understanding is the result. I mean, this is if you follow the Levelson idea, the bug is not there because somebody wrote the bug, yeah, but because the mental model was incomplete or in contrast to the mental model of somebody else, or in contrast to reality.
Mhm.
And the
Okay.
idea is that that you have so what I think, and this is I want you to write down. I think that that people have a consensus of a certain process. As if you look at the thesis of Valentin Schnabel, then you can see that he wrote down a process where there is some agreement that this process is there, right?
Mhm.
But still, this process is rather high level. And then you can still have people who know some part very well and some part not so well, and they have some simplified, let's say, assumptions about other people. If you use this basic process and then you write next to it, okay, what is the viewpoint of a certain role? What do they see? What do they not see? And what are the assumptions, and you list this, let's say, for 2 or 3 roles, then I think you could build a Nielsen model and say, okay, if they operate on these assumptions, then you could probably create think like testing, okay? That you have a process and the process can follow different paths depending on decisions that are taken.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could construct from the limited use and different use and possibly conflicting use of the people. How will the flow go? So there's at some points in the flow they are involved and they make decisions operating on their model. Yeah. And then you could say, okay, if you go a certain critical path, everybody follows their local assumptions, but in the end, some very bad result comes out.
Okay, but then I would need, this is a little bit difficult, I think, because and I would need to have the mental model of the upstream people, which I probably won't be able to find that so easily.
You just make an assumption.
Make an assumption, okay.
It's more an illustration. It's not you're not expected to depict the reality here, but that you make a case that you say, okay, if it's like this and it is maybe it's not exactly like this, but it's very probable that this is similar, let's say, yeah. Then you can explain why some weird situation result, okay?
Okay.
I think this is very much close to some bug thing that you say. How
Yes.
did bug come up as? And then what you do is that you have then you go into the role of a solution architect, write this down. You're the solution architect, and then you consider ways to improve the situation, let's say. Yeah, what does a solution architect do? In principle, exactly what we said before. The solution architect would describe the general process, then they would try to find out who are the contributing systems and people and so on. And then they would try to find out what functions do this have now, and and then they would try to find out, okay, why do they do the good things and why do they do the not so good things? And then they would try to shift something, maybe make a new rule, say observe something, make a new decision, inform somebody, bring people together, whatever, right? You can do many things. And then they want to go to a different state of the whole system. Have more information or better aligned mental models or so, or better motivation, or you bring in a new system which takes over certain functions that the system can do better than somebody else who did it before. And then you, as a solution architect, put different solution variants next to each other, and then you assess, okay, based on your assumptions, what is the probability that it will work better? What can go wrong, what is more expensive, what is more complex, what will take longer or shorter, and so on. Then you can, as an architect, compare the different solution options, and then you can make a case what solution object to choose, and then you can consider how to make a transition from the current state to this
new state.
Right?
Okay.
Because, I mean, in a way, this is what you do when you do a bug fix. Yeah, but as a solution architect, you are limited to software and data.
Yeah.
Because you cannot influence the other people. But here now you have a stronger solution architect role now. Suppose you would be, let's say, director or somebody who really can choose to do things. And then if you are the solution architect of director, yeah, what could you change? Now you could change a lot more. Yeah, how would this differ from your current role when you're only a software architect? Yeah, because if you only work in software, then you have to solve everything in software, and you have probably a pretty limited means to do it.
Okay. And this would be all theoretically then? How do I measure this?
Would it
be all theoretical, or how do I measure this? Where do I bring the metrics in? How do I quantify it?
Yeah, you have already metrics like duration and effort and probability that a certain path is taken or not taken. So in principle, in the end, if you say you have an undesired outcome, for example, you have too many loops and wasted time and so on, then you could compare it and say, okay, if you do it like this, then we have less loops. I mean, it's very similar to what Valentin did in his simulation, I think, in his thesis.
So okay.
Maybe you want to take a look at the thesis of Valentin?
I would do that, yes. I do.
because then you can immediately say, okay, okay, it feels like this. I could do it like that.
So it would be in a simulation run that I can actually
Yes.
do this.
So
Okay. Okay.
what I want to avoid is that you depend on other people.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's good if you make interviews and you talk with people to gather knowledge, yeah, but I don't think that you want to be evaluated by other people because this brings in noise and uncertainty that you actually don't want, and I don't want it either.
Okay. 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 I think it's more. I have it clear now. I have it clear. So
So,
I was thinking.
but wait, this is the first thing, yeah. So you have a model and you have an idea how to shift the architecture, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
then we didn't talk about now about the agentic workflows, right? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
we didn't do it so far.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because now comes in that you say, also what the interventions that you come up with is that you say we have new systems, or we have better coordination, or we have better data decisions or whatnot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the question is, of course, now in the modern world, we have agentic workflows at hand in principle. And then the question is, okay, where could they be beneficial in principle? So if you're the solution architect, at what point would agentic workflow come into when do you use it, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Because if
Mm-hmm.
you don't use it, then you will never use it, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so what would be the trigger for the architect to say, okay, here we could use an agentic workflow.
Can you suggest maybe a little bit so I can have a hint?
Now,
What?
yeah, you're analyzing the process, okay? And you say, okay, somebody has to look up a database and they have to align some written text with some database and they have to make a judgment whether this is correct or not and so on.
Mhm.
And this is, I think, typically something that you could say solve with an agentic workflow because you have a tool interface to the database. So you can formulate a request to the database, then you get back some result from the database, and then before and afterwards, the agent can work with this. Before it can find out what to do, then it says, I need some information from the database, then the database is a tool,
Mhm.
and then it gets some information from the database, and then with this database, it can follow up and finish the process, right? That would be for me kind of a minimal agentic workflow, right?
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Does this work for you? I mean, is this also what you
Yes.
have?
Yes, it would work for me, but then at this point, the trust in the agentic system is not part
Mhm.
of the T system. I assume I
No,
can
yeah,
trust it.
this is really up to you if you want this, yeah. Because I mean, you can have different levels of consideration here. The first would be purely functional, that you say, okay, if I do this 100 times, how often is the outcome correct or not, and how long does it take, and how many tokens or effort or whatnot does it cost? How often does it fail, and the human has to do it all
Mhm.
over, yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
And also, of course, how much effort this is for you as the designer of the agentic workflow. How much effort do you have to put in, and how often do you have to intervene and fix something, right?
Yes,
Because
but
in the end, it should improve something for your life also.
right, but the main topic of thesis is not designing the
Yeah.
agentic workflow. The main thing is by
Mm.
shifting the gaps that
Yeah.
exist that
Yeah.
cause the bugs, those changing or shifting models
Yeah.
of the person or the system. That
Yeah.
is where I'm actually focused in, not creating the agentic system here. As far as I understood it, the agentic system is just a tool that
Yeah.
the architect, like you say, is using in this
I think
process.
from the point of view of the thesis, you have a modern method and a modern tool that was not there like a few years before, and you explore now as an informatics expert. You are familiar with how it was done traditionally, and you explore how to use the new method and tool, and also you find out it's not straightforward, but you have to probably refine and develop how to use it.
So that is
So
actually the question. My
so
question is,
somebody reading your thesis would improve their capability to find out when to use agentic workflows and how to do it as from an architect coming from an architectural view. Then
okay.
having several options. One of these is the agentic workflow, and then get some support, some method, well, let's say, and some illustrated examples how to do this.
Okay, I think I got it now. So it is actually about the agentic workflow, but it's more to say, would the agentic workflow, as opposed to traditional ways, have been much more? What is the value
Why
of
should
it?
we use it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And some people would say we use it because it's modern. Some people would say we don't use it because it's modern, but it's not this is not a good answer. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
I
want
have
to
my.
come from an architect point of view and want to say what is the problem we want to solve as an architect. Agentic workflow is one of our tools, one of our options, and we want to be able to argue when and why to use it. And if we think it's a good idea, then we want to know also how to, let's say, specify and inform the people who make this design and the solution that it really works. Yeah, because as an architect, you're also responsible that in the end there's really a working system.
And would you also try to ingest or integrate the agents into the discovery part also of where the problems are? Would you also?
If you like. I mean, we do this currently. What we have been working on, like we had a bachelor thesis that just finished, yeah, and it was about if somebody comes and wants to improve something with AI. It was actually called something with AI because people never know why they want it. They just want something with AI. So we say, okay, let's have a method for something with AI, and it was very successful in the sense to find out from a really small description of a process what could go wrong, who are the stakeholders, what are the interests, what are the conflicts, so that you as an architect get an environment analysis and you get an idea, okay, what should you know to propose a better solution?
Okay, okay.
And I think it's comparable to the Procando a bit, yes, because also the Procando looks around the process and say, okay, what could go wrong and what could contribute to it going wrong. And oftentimes, what you see as a problem is contributed from the outside somewhere. Yeah, it's not necessarily a software problem. It could be that people from the outside don't understand something or they don't want something else, and so they report a bug. Yeah, and then you say, okay, yeah, I understand that you want it differently, but that's not a bug. You just want it differently. So it's it's not a per se a system problem.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and I'll tell you why I think this is important for TUWIN, and I also can tell you with the same why this could be interesting for your career at TUWIN.
Yeah.
So I've been working with people in administration of TUWIN. And what they very often have is they have some workflows to do that are not well defined in the beginning. And then they do it manually. And then they find out they are repeating things often. And then they want to automate this. Yeah, they want some, but they don't know how to do this. Okay. I give you an example. Let's say there's so this comes from 1 year ago. It was in the end, it was a software solution done by the advanced software engineering team. And what they wanted to do is they wanted to collect data on companies in Austria who could be sponsors of the OWIN. And of course, in the rectorate, somebody wanted to know, okay, if we talk to the company, we need some information. So they wanted to collect and make a dossier, a collection of data about the company. Now, yeah, there's not one database where you can get this. So there was, let's say, 5 to 7 sources of data where as a human, you could look it up, then go through this, collect this and compile it and make a dossier out of this. And they said, okay, they did it like 10 times, and for 10 times it's interesting, but it's not interesting for 300 times. Yeah.
Okay.
And at this point, they said, we have better things to do, and we want to automate this. But they, by themselves, were not able to do it. And this would be, I think, a possible case where agentic workflow could be very valuable. So it could be like an in-house consulting that somebody who wants to automate something, you talk with them. And you already have, let's say, a toolbox, because I think the databases will come again. Yeah, I mean, a lot will be this and a lot will be that and so on. So I think over time there should be MCP servers for diverse tools that recurringly come up. And then you could say, okay, if you want this is the workflow, let's go through this together. And this can be done, with an LLM, and this could be a tool call, and then this could happen, and that and that and that. and then you use Vocando to find out the important special cases that could go wrong for the guardrail and everything.
Mhm.
And then you could specify the behavior with scenarios, like you
Mhm.
would do it for a software developer, but you do it for an agent.
Mhm. Okay. Okay.
I think
So
that would be very cool because in the end, I think if you do this, I think you could make the administration of the OVIN much, much more efficient
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
better. So if you could derive from this a good method that a typical administration person could improve their effectiveness and efficiency, I think this would be great
Okay.
for a director would be very happy, I think. Yeah.
And this would be a second option. You're giving me a second option here. Also,
I think that what we have been talking before about repository and so on, this is also a workflow.
yes, yes.
It's also in the end, it's also an administrative workflow. Somebody comes with a bug and you have to find out what it is and so on. And you work with certain tools. And the question is, what of this can you automate and what can be supported by an agent?
Mhm. Okay, okay.
Because I think that the new thing of the agents is that now also what humans have been much better before in the software, dealing with natural language text and with documents and messy things and so on. This is now in reach, so it's like a new level of programming, I would say.
Mhm.
Before you work with strings and you work with numbers and sorting and so on. That's nice, but now that's the next step here.
Yeah. Did you, by the way, happen to see the minions thing that I mentioned that from Stripe? That they were like pushing over 1,000 PRs per week completely by the agents, even though they are like a trillion per year transactions company, that they have so much trust in the system.
So yes, I think
It's,
this is an important question. How can you, because people will only use it if there's enough trust. So you need to find out, okay, what has to be part of the method in order to give people enough trust to use it.
yeah, yeah. Okay. I think
That's
you have
good.
only 1 minute. I will
Yes. What do we
summarize.
do next?
Yeah, I will summarize everything we talked about and present it to
Mhm.
you so that you can
Mhm.
see if my understanding is concrete, and
Yeah.
then we can move on. What timeline are you thinking? Because
Uh,
this
I,
month
I'll
is,
be
yeah.
I'll be back in from the 22nd of July.
Okay.
So we should have a telco soon then. I don't know how it looks with your vacation in summer.
Yeah, this month is totally not okay for me. Like I'm actually
But
not traveling. We have a baby. We're not going, but people are coming
uh,
to us. So it takes energy and time to be a host, and
so
uh,
in July,
this month, yeah, genau.
in
And
July you
part
would be a host.
yes, yes, and part of the first week or something like this of August is also. I mean, I could do it, but it just pushes things around. It creates stress.
What does it now mean? So it means that you will write me notes and then we pick it up again in August.
Um, well,
It's
what
possible.
we could do that, yeah. I mean, it depends on how flexible you are with this, because I could create the notes with next week, or
So I didn't expect that you would come, so I have no plans. Yeah.
okay,
So if you would have come in August, I would have said, "Aha, it's nice that you're here." So
time starts at that point. Yeah.
now, yeah, I thought you want to begin, yeah, and now it's very reasonable for me that you say you are a host now and you have a small child and then you have to do something else. That's all okay. I think we
Okay.
have to make it work around your life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that. So, like I said, I will. Yeah, I will give you a really. So you can criticize my, see the holes for how I'm thinking, and
Yeah.
I don't want to promise, but I want to say within until next week I can give you something, uh, and then we
You
can maybe.
want to write the notes down right after we have been talking because otherwise it will be lost. That
No,
means
no.
also
I
I can
have
send
some
you
notes, but I want to quickly like structure them, and then
whatever you think about. Do it right now because it will be lost.
yes, yes, sir, of course.
I know
But
that. I know this. I've been seen always, and it's usually lost.
Okay. By the way, if we do the meetings in the future, is it possible that we have it online and
Yeah.
maybe record the meeting, or is it not good for you? Because
If you
then
want,
I can go back and watch the conversation with you.
if you really want this, you can try it out. Yes, but the most important part is when we have the next meeting point.
Can we say August 10? Let's say, I don't know.
No, I'll be traveling then.
Okay, so when in August is it easier for you?
I'll be there in August. I will leave on the 5th of August.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think the latest would be 3rd of August.
3rd of August, one
So we could
second.
meet between the 20th of July and the 3rd of August.
That's fine also. Yes. Yes.
So when would it be good for you?
Uh, Let me quickly look at the calendar.
Please.
Okay. Yes, in the morning of August, that's fine also. Monday, the 3rd.
Which one? Monday the 3rd, yeah. At 8 in the
Or,
morning?
sorry, what?
At 8 in the morning, or what did you think in the morning?
Yeah, can we do it? Yeah, 8 in the morning will be fine. Yes.
Is it good? Yes.
Yes. Okay.
You don't look happy, okay?
No, 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 no. It's because I'm looking at the calendar and there are things that I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
want
yeah.
to go to.
Okay,
That's why.
okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah. So what I want to give you, so think about what you want to do, yes, what
Hmm.
would make you happy. And it's
Hmm.
very important for me, okay, you have 700 work hours for this project, okay? It's a lot, yeah?
Hmm.
So that's why I also said, think about what you can do with that you can align it with the interests of your work. Yeah. So you
Okay.
should find something where Kati Kaiser is happy with. Yeah.
Hmm.
And you should find something where you, if you make it, have a good career options because so it makes sense for you to do it, right?
Yes, yes, of course. Yeah.
Okay, yes, that's very important. And therefore, I was thinking something that is aligned with what you do already, so you can do it,
Hmm.
and that you will get that you can do some part of it maybe on your work also, yeah.
Okay, okay. Makes
Yeah,
sense.
so think about this, yes.
Okay, perfect. Perfect.
Yeah. Okay,
Okay,
good.
thank you.
Sure. Are there
I
any other topics we should just discuss?
uh Not right now. If it comes to me, maybe I will send you some email.
You can send me an email, yes.
Okay.
You can do this,
All right.
yes.
All right.
Okay, what do
Okay.
you take away from our meeting today?
It's very good. I thought we would also discuss a little bit of what I did. If I did something wrong, maybe you can, or was it fine for you?
Do you mean with doing something wrong?
Procondo, was there something errors or mistakes, or was it
So
just fine?
everybody does it on their very personal way, and so I think for me it's great. I get a very good impression how the project will go. I see how you read and do something, so that's good for me.
Okay. Okay.
Because then I know how to what you need as a person to how should I say how to what you need as a supervision.
Okay. Okay. Then that's all from my side at the moment.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Great. Then I'll send you my notes, and you extend it with your notes, and then we have it, right?
Excellent. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have only
Meetings.
some dots right now. I have to like put them together.
You have to do it today because it will be gone. Next time you have an interesting meeting, it will be gone for sure.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Good. All
Okay.
right.
Okay.
Nice.
Thank
Then.
you. Bye bye. You too. Ciao.